Can't wait to see everybody. Let's see. Oh, Berdine, I just wrote to you today, I'm pretty sure. Oh, we have Dorothy, we have Amy, Alina, Holly, Paul. This is so exciting. Anne, Caprice, Grace, Emma. Oh, I see. Who's that? Why isn't your name showing up? You don't know, I'm waving at you. Emily, Catherine, Lola, Mayhip, Wendy. Oh my gosh, this is a great group. Maureen, Kelly, Stephen, Gordon, Mackenzie, Wendy, Manhoot. Beautiful. So welcome everyone. I'm super excited to see everyone today. So most of you, or many of you, have been with us before, but this is a Mindful Poetry Moments gathering. We started doing these virtual gatherings when the pandemic meant we couldn't do our in-person plans, and what a glorious, it's hard to think of anything lucky coming out of this year, but this has been really beautiful. So our format is the same every time we meet, and it is this. We do a centering meditation, and today we're very excited. So Sarah, will you wave at us? Sarah, who I've known for, gosh, at least a decade or more, is joining us from New Jersey, and she's going to do a sound meditation for us just to get us a little more connected to one another. And then we're going to turn the conversation over to the wonderful, wonderful two of the three of our favorite three sisters. We have Raina Dotson, if you want to wave at us, Raina, and Deandra Beard. So we have, in the context of the three sisters, our new podcast, we have the middle and younger sister with us. And they're going to talk about Lucille Clifton's gorgeous poem, Song at Midnight. And that comes from this season of Poetry Unbound, which is an On Being offering, which I know is nourishing many of us. So they'll talk about the poem, and then they're gonna give us a prompt, and we're all gonna write. We'll take about 12 minutes to write, and then we come back, and if anyone feels like sharing, you raise your hand, either like this or in the chat. And I think we do it in the chat, I don't know, we'll figure it out. And then we'll call on you and you'll read, and we will all just be amazed and nourished. And then we'll conclude. So that's the framework. So beautiful to see everyone. So with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Sarah to take us into ourselves with the help of some beautiful sound.
Awesome. Thank you, Stacy. To begin, let's come to a comfortable seat. And if you feel comfortable to close down the eyes, I invite you to do so. If not, maybe partially close down your eyelids. And just take a moment to tune in. And notice, how do you feel right now? No judgment needed, just observing. Noticing your breath, noticing your body, your mind. And I invite you to exaggerate your breath a little bit more than natural. Inhaling fully, inviting your breath in. And exhaling completely, maybe a little bit longer than usual. And just noticing your breath. And pay attention to whatever might be holding you up. Might be the ground, a cushion, a chair. And imagine the earth underneath you. It might not exactly be under you, but just imagine the earth, Mother Earth, holding you giving you support. And allow your body to land on the earth. Bringing your palms to your heart, perhaps one on top of another if that feels good. Now bring your attention to your chest and noticing your heart and your breath here. And listening with your heart center, listening to your surrounding to see if there might be any audible sounds in the surrounding. And for the next couple of minutes, I'm going to play the Tibetan singing bowls. I invite you to continue to listen, both with your ears and your heart. Nothing to do, just practicing being here at this moment. If thoughts come in, no judgment, just noticing and acknowledging and coming back to the sound and the silence in between. deepening your breath, fully inhaling and completely exhaling. Keeping your eyes closed for another moment if that feels good to you. Releasing your hands and again tuning in to see how do you feel at this moment. And blinking your eyes open. Welcome back, and I'm going to pass it to the sisters to begin.
I'll just say quickly, Sarah, that was stunning. And I've known Sarah for a really long time, but I'm sure you guys have all had that experience where you're like, wait, when did you show up? Like, that was powerful and gorgeous. And I am so thankful for you and your song. So for this, the next song, the song at midnight, Raina and Deandra, and we will share with everyone how to get in touch with Sarah for more sound if you'd like later. Okay, bye.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hi, sister.
Hi, sister. That was so beautiful.
It was. I needed it because, you know, I'm hyperactive.
Yeah, I know.
And before today's conversation, I was like all over the place. So thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Those bell tones took me back to Granny and Pappy's house. They had these bell chimes every time. It was the doorbell, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a specific sequence of tones that really took me back to being a little girl. So
yeah. I'm glad you brought up Granny and Pappy, because when we get into the poem, I pulled my thoughts really go to Granny.
Mm-hmm.
Really go to Granny. Do you want to read it, or do you want me to read?
You want to read the first? We can do a handoff.
Okay. All right. I'll read the first, and I'll read the first, and then you take the second.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right. All right. Song at Midnight, written by Lucille Clifton. Brothers, this big woman carries much sweetness in the folds of her flesh. Her hair is white with wonderful. She is rounder than the moon and far more faithful. Brothers, who will not hold her? Who will find her beautiful if you do not?
Won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman, what did I see to be except myself? I made it up here on this bridge between starshine and clay. My one hand holding tight my other hand. Come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed.
Oof. Lucille.
You always get chills at the last line.
Oh, me too, Lucille. Oof. So this first part of this poem, when the first time I read it through, I instantly, like sometimes when you read something, you create a picture of the Who, and this made me think so much of Granny.
Can you tell everybody who Granny is, please?
Yes, Granny is our mom's mom, and Granny was just this plump Cali girl. She's a thick chick.
Exactly.
She was so cute. Oh my God.
Every single time I would sit and watch Granny and Pappy, who is our grandfather. And when I was a little girl, I always had that little children's rhyme. Jack Sprat could eat no fat. His wife could eat no lean. And so you see between them both, they licked the platter clean. That was Granny and Pappy. So I can see why this came to your mind.
Yes, Granny was plump, and Pappy was slim and little, and Granny was just a woman. Okay, she was a big woman, and everything about her, like she passed away suddenly when I was 16, and so like she had a massive heart attack, and so this poem just sort of like the entire thing just makes me think of her. She was a nurse before her time, and the last thing I remember, because I was in the room when she passed away, and it's like a shared tragedy that we have in our family, being in this space with her when she passed away, but also beauty, to see her go, such a beautiful, elegant woman. But the last thing that I remember, Raina, touching her back and thinking, oh my God, Granny is so soft. I don't know, it's so random, but like her back, this poem talks about like the folds of her flesh. She was just so soft and her skin was so smooth, and it just so like, that's why I don't have a problem with, these Corona pounds that I'm carrying around.
Exactly.
I should have.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like first of all, I've read the second part of the poem many times. But I was kind of shocked that I had never read this first part.
Yeah.
It was so meaningful and so much of an entryway into the second part of the poem.
Yes.
For me.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't think about our grandmother, I think as a Black woman, in the way that we embody and embrace the folds of our flesh.
Yes.
It's in the folds of our flesh. If it's not of us, it's of our grandmothers or of our aunties. And then the hair white with wonderful, just
yes, you must.
That too, because wisdom, we all have the streak. Mine is not like yours. I'm jealous still.
It's okay. I'm still the baby.
I mean, it's really it takes you in.
It does.
And it's interesting that you talk about that night in August. It was in 1996. I was in college. 2 weeks later, you touched her back and I touched her knee, and that was the last warm touch that I had with her. And I actually touched her knee and said, her knee was also soft, and I don't know how many soft knees are out there. My knee.
No, how's it? But she wasn't like, she was just plump. She was round. Oh, man. And laying on her like shoulders or on her chest and calling her breast palos.
Granny, can I lay on your palos? I mean, and then it's like, there was nothing, it never enters the mind to not find that sweet or not find that beautiful, or you know what I mean? And I think the beauty was modeled so much by the way that our grandfather held her, and the way that he regarded her, and the way that he loved her. I mean, every ounce of her. He just
intense love.
He was intense. I mean, to the point where it's funny that you bring this up, because the other night I was actually having a moment, like a pandemic. Have you had one of those pandemics yet?
Yeah, I have.
I've had a couple. But I was thinking about Granny and those last moments, and how she collapsed into Pappy's arms, and how he cried out, and how he was able to just embrace her, just hold her.
Yeah. Yes.
Who will not hold her? Who will find her beautiful if you do?
Yes. If you do not, man. Wow. Yeah, I didn't know that. I think it was the first time I looked at this poem, it was like just a definite image of her and of their love. And the fact that this first part that Miss Clifton, that she addressed it to the brothers. And I think brothers for us carry so much weight. Not brother, biological brother, but brothers,
right.
Black men. Can you, if you don't hold her, if you want her to, who will find her beautiful? If you don't, who won't find, if no one else finds the beauty in her plumpness and in her her roundness and in who she is and the sweetness that she carries, who else will?
Exactly. I mean, that is a real, I think it gets to a fear, you know, as a Black woman in this society, you know, it's like, we know we're beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, this country has spent so much time telling a lie that we're not.
Right.
But we see the tension, you know, we know that little white boys are taught from the time that they're very young never to acknowledge the beauty of a Black woman.
Right. With words and without.
In a way that is not hypersexualized,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We learned that growing up in Indiana.
Oof.
But we also had little white boys before they were conditioned. Tell it. Oh, I was a little boy. I still see him today. Brad Keller. He had these huge. His eyes were like half the size of his face, and he had long eyelashes. And we were like 4. And the first time I met him, he would say to me, "Raina, you're so pretty. You're so pretty." And you know, today he's a police officer in Southern Indiana, and I can't even imagine like the gulf,
Mm-mm.
you know, culturally and politically and all that. But the thing that still ties us together is that when I speak to him, the first time I reconnected with him a few years ago, the
Mm-hmm.
first thing he said to me was, "Raina, you're still so pretty." Like, I mean, so I think that the brothers can be expansive here, and I think that there can be some. It's almost, it can be like a call to action to the brothers, you know,
Definitely a call out.
to our brothers, our Black men, but maybe there's a call for other brothers,
Yeah.
you know, to liberate themselves from the,
Yeah, I like that.
you know, white
Yeah.
supremacy that has taught them that it's not okay, or even to the chains of, you know, what has been taught to men in terms of body image and what is lovable in a woman, that she must fit a certain form.
Right. No, for sure. For sure. I get that the idea, especially here, and I'm sure it's in lots of other communities, where the idea of beauty is constructed for white men and boys. I think my first memory here, I remember I had a study partner for my econ, you know, that AP economics class that we all loved and hated. And my partner was a redhead named DJ. And DJ had to come to the house, and his parents dropped him off. And when DJ came in, my mom was like, "Oh, he's so cute." You know, when we began working together, and later on, she's like, "DJ has a crush on you." And I was like,
Always knew.
"Yeah, I always knew." She's like, "DJ is looking at you, girl." Did he shoot?
Yep.
I said, "Yeah, he did ask me to be his partner." She's like, But then DJ was literally afraid to say, will you go out with me?
Right.
Will you go out with me? And now I know he's back in town. I moved, you know, since I moved back home, I've seen him, and it's like the strange part about it is that life took him, even though we stayed close. As teenagers, when we went away, I think life sort of built this thing around him, and he doesn't connect in the same way.
Yeah.
It's, you know, he sees me, and you can still see in his eyes that he's like, "Oh."
Exactly. It's almost like a reverse sunken place.
Reverse.
You know, I don't know if everybody has seen the Get Out, the movie, the sunken place. I mean, as Black folks, we definitely experience this, but I think there is a reverse sunken place too. A lot of white men are experiencing. So I think we have to move to the next part of this so that we can get through all of it. There's so much we can say.
I can stay forever.
It's just so rich. I mean, this is the part that I've always been so drawn to. Won't you celebrate with me what I've shaped into a kind of life? I had no model. I mean,
I had no model.
I had no model. This resonates with me so much, Dion. I mean, first of all, she's speaking to a sense of agency that we have, that we possess. And not only is she asking, won't you celebrate with me, but she's telling us that she's already celebrating. I mean, you can join in, you can come to this party.
Or not.
A party is happening, right?
Right. And I make no excuses I tell you that I had no model, but I'm still celebrating.
Exactly.
Right. So regardless, I'm not fitting into your mold. I'm not fitting into what you think. I am creating the mold and the model for this celebration, for why I should celebrate.
Exactly. And she's so bold about how, you know what, I made it up.
Right. It's mine.
It's exactly. I made this. Up. I mean,
Yes.
we're going to have a party about this situation. And she's so unapologetic about it that it's, again, similar to the kind of call to action to have an expansive connection to brotherhood, to brothers out there, to love her, to hold her.
Mm-hmm.
I also see a similar call to action in her invitation to celebrate.
For sure. For sure.
Right? Because this life that I've shaped doesn't fit into maybe what you think or what you've been taught should be celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
That is not worth joining in on for the celebration.
And it almost makes you feel like if you don't celebrate with her, that you're going to miss it.
Exactly. I definitely have FOMO.
Right.
Right. I'm like,
yeah. I'm the queen of FOMO. Like, what?
Yes.
We celebrate?
Wait, what's happening?
Let us. Why don't we?
Sorry. Yeah. I mean, and then it's like, I love how, I always read here on this bridge between starshine and clay.
Oh, that line.
My one hand holding tight my other hand. Come, celebrate with me.
Mm-hmm.
That every day, something has killed me and has failed. Yeah.
Let me pause you there for a minute because I want to go back up because that line, born in Babylon, and if we know anything, all the references to Babylon, we don't even have to talk about that. But born in a place of the unwanted, or the place that, the outer place, or the place that people don't see has significance, the evil place.
Mm-hmm.
So as a non-white and a woman, how many people can fit into that place? We could say that we're born in Kokomo. Some people would equate that to Babylon.
Honey.
Right. Well,
right.
But from this place, even from this place, I'm like, it also gives permission to other people to see themselves. I also was born in Babylon, right? I also was born there, but I can still celebrate who I am, who I've created, the person I've created myself to be. I'm not a man, and I'm not white, but I'm here. What did I see except myself? I had nobody else to reference, no one else to look to but me. And I'm going to celebrate. Mm-hmm. So come celebrate.
I mean, this is pretty much our life.
Yeah. Literally.
Here we are standing on this bridge between starshine and clay. Yeah.
I wish I had written that.
I think you have written it with your life, Dion. Yeah. So far. Yeah. And then, there's so much. I know that we got to go to the writing prompt, but just to say we got to acknowledge that very last line where she talks about every day something's tried to kill me and it has failed. Lord Almighty.
Lord.
I feel that down in my soul.
Me too. Oh, the weight of that.
Yeah.
The weight of that and the truth.
Just getting here. Our mother had 3 emergency C-sections. Literally, each time we were at the brink of death, just getting here.
We'll go back up one because Granny had trouble with her. Granny almost had miscarriage after miscarriage. Mom, the only child. Then Mom had trouble with us, all of us. But we made it, and we're here.
Exactly.
From birth, from generations, like our generations were almost cut off, and we could tie in all the reasons why. Even Granny, as a medical professional, and as a nurse, there was still this issue with childbirth as a Black woman.
That's right.
And she still had major issues with birthing.
Exactly.
Right? We could tie all of that in and talk about that. And then Mom, the same issues. But we're here.
Exactly.
We're here.
So I know we want to write, so let's get to the writing. Everybody, I'm excited to see what everybody's gonna come up with today. Um, we have a writing prompt, I believe. So the way we thought about this, that this is kind of like, it's a song, but I also thought of it as a two-part letter, right? So in the first section is a letter to someone that the writer wants to see them. And then the second section is a call to celebrate what the writer is asking to be seen. So I'll repeat that. The first section is a letter to someone that the writer wants to see them. And then the second section is a call to celebrate what the writer is asking to be seen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to add to that?
Oh no, I was just gonna say that just looking at the depth of the first part, you know, part one, excuse me, that being sure to put that the emphasis on who it is that wants to be seen, you know, like really making a strong call to who it is that wants to be seen.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Some water, sister.
I know, right?
So I will go ahead and set a timer for, let's say, about 12 minutes, and we'll take to our writing in our own spaces, and then we'll come back. I'll chime us back in. How's that sound? We'll keep an eye on the chat if anybody has questions for either Raina or Deandra. We have about 5 more minutes, just so you can, so you know where we are time-wise. Alrighty, everyone. Go ahead and return to the screen view where we can see one another and get ready to see if anyone has something to share. That was a really wonderful conversation and prompt. So, sisters, thank you for that. And if you'd like to share, just go ahead and write in the chat, and we will let the sisters give you a shout out when we're ready to hear.
Anybody want to share? Anyone? Yay. Emma.
See, Emma, Catherine, Emily. Okay. You want to go get started with Emma? Thank you, Emma. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. We hear you.
Hi, everyone. It wasn't her real name, but I was named after this brown woman. Her Bronx poverty carried her to Puerto Rico and back. On every trip, the smell in the kitchen morphed into banquet fantasies come true. I didn't understand. Mi titi, a small refrigerator on orthopedic shoes. Her bigness, her Jesus. She said, I held you and gave you to the Lord the day you came from the hospital. I say, what a way to start a life. Thank you.
Her bigness, her Jesus. Yes.
What a way to begin a life. That was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Emma. I think, Catherine, are you ready?
Thank you. This is my first time here, and I said it's a bit of an icebreaker from winter in Alberta, Canada. So thank you very much. So here we are, heaving under a human heaviness. I need you, weary women, world over, to pause, to take a deep breath, to lay down your load, to pick up the beat of your heart and soul and dance. Clap to a beat only you can hear, the wings of an angel as she bends to whisper in your ear, you are joy. Stomp to the heat of earth's inner fire, flaming and fanning yours. Shimmy and shake the sparks that are yours to light the midnight sky with diamonds, for that is who you are, a diamond dancing in constellations, here and beyond, now and forever. Ha, woman, dance. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Emily.
Hi, it's so fun to see you guys. I've been listening to your new podcast, and I sort of have that weird feeling of like knowing you, but you don't know me. But you know, it's
Hi, Emily.
You know
so
us.
great. It's so great. Anyways, sassafras. All your life, you've been leaves and bark and trunk, and you've flowered for eyes, and they've taken your bark for medicine. And your very flavor has been distilled to an essence, but I'm calling you back to where you started, rooting you, settling you down into me, your root which is cradled in bones of pelvis, cradling that root, that uterus, that womb. Come back into the muffled earth and quiet nutrients. Here is where you will find safety, yourself. Come back into darkness where you began so you can find where you should go. Your roots will always be easy to ignore, but they won't be easy to live without. Why have you been trying to live without roots? Don't you feel as if you might topple over with a breath of air, with a single note of virus, with one more email requiring another one of your leaves, a piece of your medicine? Lay it all down, shed your leaves for winter, and be still in your solid ground.
These are amazing.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like I need to just reread all of them.
I know it, right? Like I'm having like little tiny tears every poem.
No.
Well, we will ask to collect them, any ones that were written, or even in the next couple days if you want to work on yours. And then we put them in our kind of a newsletter that we keep on the website. So we will be able to collect these.
I think that Troy was next.
Thank you. This is all so beautiful. It's just kind of coming ashore in a great way. I almost feel like I need to give like not a trigger alert, but like you guys have held really great space, and as a straight white male to just come through with my poem. Just want to it's just beautiful what space you're holding, and thank you for the invitation. Here we go. Certainly the pale skin I wear has cursed us both, but let's keep vigil. Peer into my heart as I watch for yours. After the empire falls within the straight white male, love, even forgotten love, remains. I'm not telling, I'm inviting, I'm wondering. With my pair pink ones open, to hold snow slowly melting into fresh water. How else might I learn this time around? How else would we feel forgotten life reshaping us all again and again without these bodies of ours, yours and mine?
Troy, brother Troy, brother Troy.
Brother, brother.
You said a word. Thank you.
Looks like Grace.
It might be me too. I don't know if I put in, but I'll put in if you let me.
Okay. I think Grace is next. Looks like Grace.
Hi.
Yeah.
And yes, I did write it like a letter. And I didn't title it yet. Dear Grandma Sanchez, I never heard anything about your life except that you died when I was 1. I see my face in yours, in my father, in my cousins. What did you love? Were you seen? Was any woman really seen? I want to celebrate you, who passed on so much love to my father who could listen, who saw me. You saw him, and he could see me. But what about you? Can we celebrate you, my Nana from the Sky Islands of Southeast Arizona? Can we sing and dance and hear your stories?
It's beautiful, Grace.
Thank you.
Holly.
Grace, that was beautiful. I lived in Arizona. That really spoke to me. That was beautiful. Thank you, everyone. This is always such a treasure. I never knew you by sight, by touch and scent. The flour caked on your hands, smudged on your apron. The sound of your voice wafts on other winds in earlier times, carrying your wisdom and joy, along with the hint of your sorrows echoing still from the times life took its slice. Never saw the sweat that crossed your dark brow. I know the years that peeled away at you like potato skins left in your chipped porcelain sink. I want to hear the songs that sent you to sleep, that sent your own seeds to sleep, hummed on a summer breeze, pressed through screen doors slammed too many times for kids to listen. I want to thank you for the love you gave, for the love you lost, for the pain you denied yourself so others could smile. Remembrances of you linger in my aging mother's mind, in your cryptic cookbook handwriting, in the vase and the brooch you left her. You lived. It was enough. I hope you know it was enough.
Man.
Yes, it was.
All right, Deandra.
Mm.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I am.
It was enough.
It was enough. Ooh. Asia.
Hi, my name's Asaya. This is my first time coming, so thank you for having this space for us. I wasn't sure what to expect, so I'll just put it out there. I am here, but I am altered. The person who occupied this body is no more. Every second of the last 2 decades, I killed her off, chipping away like Michelangelo at the identities that no longer made sense. I suffocated the voice that said, "You are not enough." Immolated the flesh over a fire stoked and restoked, feeding the forebears with the altar smoke. I want you to see me. Like a bell-shaped curve, I ease down my descent, settling firmly into the softness, reconstituting me. Embrace my contradictions, the vulnerability that calls me to recognize the hurt in the child I was, and the reformed sinews able to bear weight and labor and love. Thank you.
Good Lord Almighty. Asaya?
Yes, beautiful name.
Yes, beautiful name. And that
beautiful piece.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Do we have time to do Stacy? Can we keep going? Who's next?
Yeah, do we have anybody else who wants to read?
Come on, Lauren.
Their own song.
I'll get it right for the blog.
You look like you were ready. You did your arms this way.
Bye, Caprice.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Say something?
Sandra?
Yeah, hi.
Okay, would you like to read?
No, I just wanted to comment on this poem. It seems like it came right out of her and she never worked on it after each line hit the page. I know she probably did, but it's so casually perfect. It feels like conversation. It's just exquisite. I love it.
I definitely agree, for sure. That's why I said I wish that I had written those lines. Like, honestly.
The words, I imagine her coming out the shower and shaking, and that's those words.
And saying, I think I'll write this. Yeah, but sometimes it happens. It does. It happens just like that. Or you don't have to work on it. It just comes out. Anybody else want to share?
I think
perhaps we hear another reading of it. All right, let's do that.
You want to flip it around, or do you want to, or is there somebody else in the group who would like to read? Okay, I don't see anybody saying hand up. So,
Let's start.
Song at Midnight, written by Lucille Clifton. Brothers, this big woman carries much sweetness in the folds of her flesh. Her hair is white with wonderful. She is rounder than the moon and far more faithful. Brothers, who will not hold her? Who will find her beautiful if you do not?
Won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no motto. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman, what did I see to be except myself? I made it up. Here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight, my other hand. Come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed.
Oh my gosh, you beautiful humans. Well, with tremendous gratitude from Ro and I at the well, and all of us space holders here from On Being and from WordPlay and from the Hive, our dearest Sarah from Sky and Sound Yoga, and then our fantastic sisters, Raina and Deandra. We'll follow up with everyone so you have access to information about the podcast, about Sarah, and about upcoming events. We'll be back again in January. And I just, you are all a blessing. That was some really beautiful, deep, nourishing work there. So thank you, everyone. Any last words, sisters?
A big thank you all for sharing this time and space with us. This is always amazing, and I don't take it for granted in these turbulent times.
Beautiful. I just echo Dion. This was beautiful. You all are, I think that we are just creating the celebration between us. And I just appreciate everybody for coming into this space in the middle of the week. Thank you, Stacey, and thank you to everyone who participated.
And also to Lucille Clifton, who passed away in 2010. Yes. I like to imagine that she's somewhere still celebrating.
I didn't get to talk about her. I love her so much, Stacey, but
no time.
I don't know. Maybe we just need a podcast.
Yeah. But I'll just say, for a long time, I slept with Lucille Clifton's her compiled book of poetry next to my bed. And then I ended up sleeping in the same bed that she slept in the Western Shore, Maryland, a few years ago without knowing that. So it's like she's speaking to us. It feels really good.
And thank you, Stacey, so much again. And Ro, thank you all for inviting us back. This is where this podcast began, just a conversation. So I'm so grateful to kind of circle back around and to be able to have a conversation with my sister.
It's so true. Who was it that somebody wrote in the chat, like, this should be a podcast? And, 3 months later, it's like, no, that's a good idea. Let's do it. So thanks to your listening and your speaking the truth into being. That's how it works sometimes.
It is true.
All right. We'll see you in January, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Okay,
Take
bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.